Welcome to the Amazing Truth Podcast, a podcast where we focus on real issues and have real talk, and as always, provide a biblical perspective. We hope that you will be blessed as you listen.
Hello and welcome to the Amazing Truth Podcast. This is the Amazing Truth Minute.
This is the Amazing Truth Podcast. The Amazing Truth Podcast. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Stitcher. Like us on Facebook at the Amazing Truth Podcast. The Amazing Truth Podcast. Real issues, real talk.
For the Amazing Truth Minute today, we're going to do something different. I'm going to bring in our guests or the panelists or whoever is here, Ezra and our guest. I have a question for you. What do you like about life? I'll start with you, Ezra.
Hey, what do I like about life? These are different truth minute, man.
Yes.
But what do I like about life? I like the fact that I'm able to learn.
That you're able to learn.
Yes.
All right. Dennis, what do you like about life?
I think for me, I would say life is about never knowing what tomorrow brings. So it's like always giving you something, depending on how you take it, good or bad. So it's always ever surprising.
Right.
That is what I like about life.
All right. What I like about life, Ezra, is how I get up after I've fallen.
Ah,
Right. So, whatever it is you like about life, whatever it is, good or bad, tailor it in a way that brings joy to you. And that is the Amazing Truth Minute.
This is the Amazing Truth Podcast. The Amazing Truth Podcast. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Stitcher. Like us on Facebook at the Amazing Truth Podcast. The Amazing Truth Podcast. Real issues, real talk.
all right. Listeners, viewers, those who are joining us, welcome. Kenan,
Yes.
you threw us off a little bit with the truth minute, man.
You do that all the time, so I have to bring it back to you.
I didn't know whether to go 360 degrees or 0 degrees.
Yep,
But you know, something different. It's
about enjoying life.
It's about enjoying
and
life, right?
appreciating life. Because life is precious. Well, having life is different. So
I know, right? We celebrate life.
Yep.
We celebrate when a child is born. We celebrate when people sleep, sometimes with a heavy heart, but we still celebrate lives, right? Right. Amazing. Viewers, can you imagine we are in May? By the time this podcast will be going up, it's May. Am I correct?
Yep.
That'll
be May.
Will be May, right? What have you done so far?
Well, we have evolved.
You are languishing here. The year is going over. You are having anyway.
2022 is coming and go. We had a very short spring.
No, very short spring. Actually, I even think we had spring.
So.
But anyways, viewers, listeners, welcome to Amazing Truth. Today, Kenan, I have to show this. Today.
You should have warned me, man.
I'm rocking, Amazing Truth.
We have merchandise.
We have merchandise.
Yes.
But it's not about the clothing. It's about who wears it. So
when you see Ezra wearing pink,
it's about to go
serious.
down.
Yeah.
Welcome, viewers. As usual, this is your podcast where we keep it real 100%. This is your place where we come and laugh together, a place where we come and learn, and a place where we come and share, heartfelt stories. I miss the audio part where we used to reveal the guests, but unfortunately now with the videos, you already have the guests seated here with us. So, but maybe Kenan will work on another camera. We're growing, right? We're bringing the guests later on, right? Yeah. But we are blessed to have a friend, a brother.
Yeah.
Man, Kenan, how long have you known this guy?
I've known this guy since I came to the States. Since I came here, I've known this guy. I mean, I used to move you from one apartment to the other. Believe it or not, the first jumper I got was from this guy. He doesn't remember.
Really?
Yeah, the first jumper I ever got was a black jumper. That was cold. So So maybe about 10, 11
10
years.
to 11 years.
Yeah.
Man,
What about you? How long
I've
have you
known these guys since around 2006-ish, 7-ish.
Wow.
You know, I had gone to college, had gone out of state. Then I came back and I met these guys, in town. They were the guys in town, youngings. So it's been exciting. But, the beauty about it is just not only knowing someone, but seeing the journey of someone. And see how they grow. So today, we are going to let him introduce himself. Tell us yourself, your name. Just tell us your name. Tell us your name and one thing you're looking forward to this conversation and why you chose to be here today.
Well, my name's Dennis Ongeri. That is what the official it appears on my license and my passports. But some people, AKA, some people may know me as DJ Rach, Rachness. Tint, the DJ.
I don't know where that name came from.
Oh yeah, I remember I made this joke one time. It's like, you know what? There's a reason I don't like going to Africa all the time. I already got the tint, so that is like, believe it or not, I was white when I was born.
Well, then it's hard to believe that, but we'll take it from you.
Born in the block. Then life happens. I know. Mm-hmm.
But I am looking forward actually to have a conversation, touch base with you guys, because you guys, you two brothers, saw me when I was on my lowest level ever in life. And I felt like, it is time to give back and show how much your helpers helped, sustain me until this point.
Man.
Kenan.
Statements like that leave us speechless.
I know.
We joke a lot, but
yeah. But in all seriousness, if I was you, I will not turn off. I will not move. I will pause and stay still. Because the journey that Denno has taken is one that we just can't put it in words. I don't even know if this podcast will do justice, but it's been just a blessing and honor just to see where Denno is here today. So we are excited and ready to roll.
I want to say something though.
Yes.
If just that it's not a disclaimer, but this podcast is only 2 parts and it's about 50 minutes. But if there's anything you want aside from the podcast, away from the cameras, reach out to Denno. Reach out. We can get a little bit, but we'll try to get into detail as much as we can. But yeah.
First of all, I want to thank you, Denno. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of boldness to just come sit where you're seated right there. It's definitely your story. You tell it as it is, and we're excited to have you. I introduce this guy to you. Today he is Kenan. Now that we've met Denno, he needs no introduction.
Let me say something. I know the last two podcasts, Ezra wasn't here, so we didn't. I don't know if you hope you listen. We didn't miss you.
You kicked me out.
You fought your way back, but it's good to have both of us.
We've been trying to do something different. There's a time where you were not there in one of the podcasts, and I was there with the young girls. It was nice, and then you kicked me out for the other one. But we realized that we need each other. Anyway. So we are here. So let's jump into it. Let's jump into it. Denno, a little bit about yourselves. Tell us a little bit where you're born. And for viewers, as we dive into this, maybe you're wondering what's this conversation about. We're going to be touching on a lot of things. We're going to be touching on, at some point, substance abuse. We're going to be touching on, mental health. We're going to be touching on, getting help and coming out of, the lowest moments of your life. So stay tight as Denno just walks us through his journey through all that.
Can we just try something different today?
Yes.
2020, was it 2021?
When was it?
Is it 2021? When you were at your lowest point?
It was 2021, yeah.
So let me just preempt and then we can pause and go back.
Right. Rewind and build it. Yeah.
So 2021, summertime.
Can't remember when it was, but it was 2021.
It was April.
April. Wow.
It's a year now. It's a year now. Yeah,
Right.
it's a year
Man.
now. So a year ago.
Anyway, a year ago, Dennis was struggling with substance abuse, depression and anxiety, and had one attempt at suicide and suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. So that's his lowest point. Now we're going to build up to that, and then
where he is now. And to add to that, I remember it was a Monday night when we were on that call for a long time.
Yes.
A Sunday night we drove to his house, and Monday night we were still on a call, and that started a journey that has seen Denno where he is today. So we're gonna rewind
And yes,
to 1980 something, and then build to 2021,
All right.
and then see where we are today. So Denno,
Take it away, Ezra.
take it away. So Denno. So tell us a little bit. Born, where, raised. How was your childhood? Who's Denno?
So Denno was born in Kisumu.
Uh-huh.
So my love of fish is unparalleled. My father used to travel in a few cities for work. Like my older sister was born somewhere else. I was born somewhere else. My younger sister was born somewhere else. So it was a journey.
Yeah.
But born in Kisumu, I was raised in Nakuru actually. I don't know if people know where Shabe is in Nakuru. So that is where my childhood was formed. So life was good. Everything was fine. We were not rich, but we were comfortable. So we never lacked anything in life at that time. So we went to school. 5th grade, I believe. That's when I went to boarding school. So we went to Molo Academy, all the way down all the way up in the hills, right? So really cold, really muddy, really everything that the worst weather you really can have in Kenya was there, and that's why we decided to go to school. So everything was good. The first semester, of course, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be in the boarding school. That is just as usual how things go, weeping and crying and just, trying to go home with the parents, right?
Yeah.
So visiting, they came, usually one day where parents come in to visit their kids, bring all the food they haven't eaten for a long time, because uji sometimes does wonders to your body. But it's good sometimes to get the chai from home. So parents came, I was happy. Actually, I went to school with my sister Ven. So
Denno. There's somebody here. This guy. Did you ever go to boarding school?
Of course.
Of course, high school or
High school.
High school. Your mama's until
High school. Yeah.
So for listeners, we've said this many times. In the African system, the Kenyan system is you go to school, and you're there for like 3 months.
Right.
No visitations, except for once a month, and the parents come. So you're in 5th grade. What age is that? That's like
11.
Grade 11.
11. So 11 years old, away from your parents, 3 months.
You went to boarding in primary school. Grade school.
Yeah.
So you're in boarding. So the life being away from home, how was that? And your sister, how and all that? What is the experience of that? Like being away from home, you're used to home food. Your sister's there. Like when you think back now, would you do it again?
Definitely, actually, I would. I would because knowing now what I know, it was definitely a good thing to do.
Okay.
But then, during those first days, I was like, this is torture. I don't think my parents loved me enough, to bring me all the way out here, away from home. And I was crying. It's like, I'll behave. I'll be a good person. Just take me to the nearest school that is close to home so I can come back home whenever I need it, But my parents are like, no, actually, take you to this school because it's one of a highly reputable school back then, really good grades, they were not playing when it came to
serious stuff, education.
So that's where I went, so
Right.
first visiting day, that's where I was, right? So then after that, things change, okay? So my life pretty much got turned upside down. With everybody, I guess, in the family, because my father passed away, at that time when I was in boarding school. So I was still 11 years old.
Oh, so when you just went to boarding school, while you're still wrestling and settling into boarding, your father passes.
Yeah.
How was your relationship with your dad at that time? I mean, you're 11. How was that relationship with your dad?
My father was a very strong person, very independent, always knew what he wanted, and he wanted his kids to know what they wanted. You know, so he instilled discipline as needed, but he was also constantly reminding us why that thing was happening, why it was done.
Right.
Okay, so he was a quiet and reserved man, but still he was part of our lives. You know, being able to grow up with a father, you know, who was not only respected in the community. You know, he also has. He was like such a big man that even in the village back home, people just knew who he was and what he was all about. You know, so our relationship was
like a dad.
it was his normal father to son Kenyan relationship.
Yeah, and I think then you're gonna go back to that's where your life turned upside down. But I think relationships, and Ezra, I think both of you can relate to this. Is that parental relationship with the kids back in Kenya? It's more of I'm gonna provide, and that's your happiness. There. Our parents' happiness is I'm providing for you. I'm taking you to school. I'm clothes. You're getting clothes.
Yeah.
That's for them. That's satisfaction. That's their, you know.
The emotional side was not the best.
It's not the best,
right? But it was there. They love us. You know, the question
to
is
them,
to them,
connecting
when I
them
pay your school
emotionally,
fees,
that's
when I
emotional.
provide food,
Right.
when I give you shelter, what was there for you to be stressed for?
right.
You need to focus. Your job is one: eat, read, sleep, clean.
So that is pretty much when you say
exactly.
normal relationship.
Normal relationship. So that
that's
was your normal
yeah.
relationship. All right.
So then your life turned upside down.
Yeah, that was the normal relationship.
So how long had you been in school before, and then before your father passed?
It was just once in a semester.
So you went for one
so
term?
semester were one term.
Yeah.
And
3
then
months.
3 months, and then
visiting.
after 3 months being in boarding school.
Yeah.
So were you in school when the news was broken that your father?
Yeah, so we were in school. You know, I was playing, and then one of the pupils come over. He's like, "Hey, we're looking for Denno." Say, "Hey, somebody, you know, go to the principal's office. Somebody's looking for you." So I go there. I see my aunties, and you know, they are there. You know, I'm like, "Yay!"
Food.
They give me a, you know, hey, people from home, right? So the headmaster gives me like a permission slip. Go get it signed so you can go home. I was like, I'm going home. This
Even
is
better.
awesome,
Yeah.
you know. So, but as a kid, I actually didn't read what the permission slip said.
Yeah.
All I knew was this is something is gonna, you know, take me home.
Yeah.
You know, away from here for a while.
Yeah.
So I run, I go find the matron, you know, like in school, you know, matron is the one who keeps the boys in order. So she takes the piece of there's a slip of paper, you know, she just looks at it, and then she looks me with a sad eyes and just signs it. You know, so and I'm like, wait, that is not a good look. You know? So now the trip back to the principal's office was not the same trip I made when I was coming out. I was all excited coming out, but going back in, I was alert.
That's when you knew.
Alert. Didn't know what it was, but I was like, something
is not right.
So now I go and then I look closely at my aunties. I see their eyes are red, you know, a telltale symptom, you know. They were crying, you know. They didn't tell us what it was.
So it's you and your sister at this point,
Yeah. They didn't tell us what it was. Maybe my sister knew. I don't know. Actually, I've never asked her that. But for me, I was oblivious. But I knew something was bad. Something had happened, but they didn't tell us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they break the news to you.
So we take them the matatu, you know, go back home, you know. As we approach home, there's some people there, you know. It's quiet, people are talking. There's, you know, how the Kesha in Kenya is, you know, people are sitting around the compound.
Night vigil. Kesha is night vigil.
Night vigil.
You know. So now my legs are shaking. You know, I'm like,
At this point, you don't know. That
still I've been told. what-
You haven't been told, but
No.
you know something is not right.
Okay. So we walk in and then go to my parents' bedroom, and I scan the faces around to see, you know, who's there. Okay. I see my mom, but I don't see my father. So that is when it clicked. Something bad has happened here. That face that I usually see, it's not there anymore. So that is when the news was broken.
And the reason we are dwelling on that is because he's 10 years old.
Yeah.
That's a child.
11 years old.
11 years old, right? And then, so death, it's something new, it's something foreign. And then, to be honest, to the parents, they really, in Africa, really don't know how to break the news.
I don't even know even here if you know how to break. I mean, that's
break the
hard news to
Right.
break.
Especially
that,
to what 11-year-old.
You know, how do you tell an 11-year-old that, you know, yeah, that was tough. That was tough. How do you take it now?
Not well, but right there, it's also it gave birth to the person who I am right now, or I say who the person who I'm working,
To be
yeah,
or striving to be.
because it shook me, I tried to sit down, because I was at the edge of the bed, I tried to sit down, and then my uncles took me, actually grabbed me before I sat down and put me on a chair. Because I was about to sit on my parents' bed, and as a culture, as a boy, you ain't supposed to do that, So put me on a seat, it was tough. It was a horrible moment,
So we're not gonna ask how you process it, but then the absence of your father.
Kenan, before you proceed to the absence of the father, I think there's a heavy point there, because this is one thing that we glimpse and gloss through, breaking news that is tough and what it does to just even an adult.
Yeah.
Being a child, if you look back hindsight, that whole journey, that whole process, someone who might be in a situation like that, how is there anything that could have been done to be handled better for you as a 11-year-old boy? Or was it handled well enough?
I think given the circumstances and where we were at that time, I think it was handled as best as possible, because I mean, what is the other alternative? Now that we're grown, we have come to America now. We have had all this new knowledge and exposure. It's always easy to have a hindsight
back,
right?
yeah.
But back then, that was the best situation on how to break the news and how it was handled.
So now, how does life proceed post now? Now your father is gone, still a kid. Your mom is there. You are the only boy. You have two sisters, two sisters.
Yeah.
How does life pick up?
So remember that point I made. I was trying to sit down. They moved me to a chair.
Yeah.
Because, that is when I knew now I'm the only man in the family. I'm the only Hungarian now.
Right.
Ain't no other chance. Ain't no little brothers coming. After that. So that moving forward, it's something that always stayed with me. Now everything you do, look here, your father is gone. Your father left a big name. Your father was more than life itself, right? Now the expectations, you gotta even be better, even more than what your father was known for, or, the legacy he left behind. Okay, so at a tender young age, I know for sure I'm the boy. I'm supposed to carry my father's name. I'm supposed to be well behaved. Be a better person. Don't make any trouble or hardship for my mother. Because now that is gone. I ain't there anymore. So that's how I came up to.
That shaped. That shaped you.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. You
good?
Yeah, I'm good.
So, question. So now, did at this point, do you feel like you have huge shoes to fill, right? Like your dad has gone, you carry the Ongeri name. You're the patriarch now. You're carrying that hat.
Yeah.
Did you feel any sense of anger or abandonment towards your father?
Or anyone, or resentment in
yeah.
general.
I think I was pretty mad, towards my father per se. Is like there was so much to do, and now that chance is gone. Why did you have to leave at such a tender age? I was pretty pissed off, but also knowing the loss, because my father was sick for a while, not like I think he used to have bad feet for some reason, so he used to walk around with a cane, So his health was not he was not like a running or jogging man, but he was strong on his own, So upon passing away, I mean, it was not like a fierce anger, you know. It was more like, wow. So this is life, you know. I'm angry to have been left.
Right.
I'm angry to, you know, of all the things that haven't been done yet. I'm angry about now having to grow up faster than I needed to.
Did someone tell you that you have to grow up faster than you needed to? Did someone tell you have to fill those shoes?
Well, that is just an expectation as you're a man.
Right.
You know, during later on, my uncles used to drum that idea into me. You know, you're a man. Now you get it. You know, and I don't know. You know that is the expected norm. You know, I don't know if that is how they, you know, back home they try to prepare you to be a man, to fit in those shoes, but also it was also a point of contention.
Okay.
So, I'm sure we can unpack this. We can talk a little bit more on this. But what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that was a defining moment of who you are and who you became. There's a loss. There is growth that needs to happen instantly. There's expectations. There is, you know, a full life ahead of you. And there's all these emotions. You're supposed to grieve. You're supposed to be the man. There's expectation of filling the shoes. There's all these things that culminate, you know, in your life. So, and I'm sure as we build the story, we'll see how all these eventually tie into your journey, right? So now, the whole process, you know, goes on. How does life now? You go back to school. How does primary school, high school? How does your life now? How do you pick up now that the loss and this is your new normal now?
So life has to go on, right? You know that after we buried my father, I went back to school, and I'm a whole new person, right? Then something else happened, you know. Like now, my mother, you know, she's been left alone. She's like what 32, 33 at the time, if I'm not, yeah, you know. So she's alone. She got 3 kids to feed, you know. How do you, you know, be able to accomplish all that responsibilities? Okay, so shortly, soon after, my mother came to America.
After your dad passed?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, there were better opportunities here, you know, to provide and do everything that
Yeah, support the family,
now
support you all.
be the father and the
mother.
and the mother at the same time, right? So her coming over here, I was still at boarding school when that happened.
How old were you now?
I think it was just a few grades after that.
So maybe 7th grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
So in primary school or high school?
Same primary.
Primary school. So 7th, 8th.
Yep.
Okay. So now, one parent is gone.
Gone, right? Yeah.
One parent is there, but far away. You're in boarding school. Process. How is that now? When you close school, where do you go? How does that?
So I would say I was lucky to have my my uncles and aunties close by, you know, because in the house that we were living there, my auntie moved in to take care of us,
Okay.
right? So that brought a little normalcy in life because now you're not just alone. You got people who care about you, surrounding you. You know, my uncles also stepped up, trying to help out in matters that, you know, they only could be able to help, right?
Yeah.
So sitting down and, you know, give me advice. You know, this is what it means to walk this way. You know, so actually now between the family and school, it was I buried myself in school pretty much because for me to be able to do something, I started just isolation. You know. In order for me to process, because I still hadn't grieved.
Right.
I remember even at the funeral was like, you know, I'm the boy. Boys don't cry.
Yeah.
You gotta
Stay strong.
Yeah, show a mean face, right? So that is all me still nodding, have grieved or anything, you know. No tears, no nothing. Just get a soldier on.
Yep.
Right? But now that I was alone in school and no family expectations or nothing, it was just me and my books, it was a really low time for me. So I just buried myself in classwork.
You're not grieving at that point.
No,
either.
it
Just
is.
burying
Yeah,
yourself.
it is.
Was it for you to forget or to soldier on? Was it
I believe it was just to soldier on, just to keep things together because, that is what I was expecting.
Kenan, what strikes me here is not only the emotions I'm imagining,
yeah.
but also the stage he is as a young man, growing, finding yourself. There is that whole phase where physically you're breaking your voice. That's the stage when your body is even changing in itself. So there's developmental stages that are happening. There is emotional aspect that he has to deal with. There is readjustment of the frame of life and the expectations, like all these being thrown at 11, 15-year-old guy. So so I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, that must have been a lot.
That's tough. That's a lot.
That must have been a lot.
That's a lot for a young boy.
So your mom is there. You are processing this. You have family. High school. How do you do class 8 and then how does high school pan out?
So I was actually in primary, before KCP, right? That was the exam.
Yeah.
I was terrible at math. Math has never been my forte.
Don't worry.
It is.
You are representing safe space. You're in a safe space. Yeah. We only know the math for salary.
Your paycheck.
Paycheck.
And bills. So you're good. You're in good company.
Yeah.
But I was really good in languages, and sometimes GHC, So like
I was good in CRE. Christian religious education.
So like in school, they used to give us, badges, that shows, you're good at something.
Badge of honor,
So I kept rocking mine, every time visiting come, I was like, how many badges do I get today? To show off, all that. So that usually moved me, towards a goal. So I finished school. Unfortunately, the math was not as easy during the exam as I had hoped.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Well, you're good.
You're good now.
So out of 500, I got 415. Right. Okay. So I think math I got like 20 or something.
Hey, say out of 400, you got 450.
Was it 700 or 400? 500.
Out of 500.
Kenan, we did the 700 and we
didn't even get to 415.
we thank the Lord for His grace, man. We are here, all of us. So in other words, you're an A student.
You're an A
415 is an A student, But again, part of it is testament of you buried your books. Like
Yes.
this is where you're spending your time. So you're putting your effort in there. Some of us are putting effort everywhere else. But you was. But it's not just effort. It's because it's your way of coping with something, coping with a situation. So you do well, 415, an A student. How does it proceed to high school now?
So after doing that, after I finished the exam, we called my mom. My mom is like, "Yay, okay, results." They're like, I got 415. She said, "Why did you not get 450?" Oh boy, all right. That was tough. That was tough, But
And to point this, you are trying to be the man, right? You're presenting the results to your mom, like, okay, the man here who soldiered on has got 415. Ma'am, I did it. I'm filling up the Ungeri shoes. But then you're like, okay,
why not 500?
Right? What does that do to you?
So actually, I got off the phone. I just walked away. It was on a phone call, of course. My mom was there.
right.
So I did not even answer. I just put the phone, walked away. Because that was it deflated me a little. Okay, but I also understood where she was coming from, because for me that was also not my target.
Yeah.
My goodness.
My father was he revered education. Okay, like when we finished, like if you finished, you see December.
Yeah, the
during
term, end of
break, yeah,
term.
he used to get us books and start reading for the next level, so that when you go to class, you already know what the teacher is going to say.
Yeah.
So
So your
fortunately,
bar was high.
yeah.
And how high was your bar? Me.
Our parents were, the bars were high.
The bars
we just
were
didn't
high.
get there.
The problem is.
Right.
Fortunately, that also transcended from being young until
So you carried that through in your life.
Yeah.
The bar has just always been up here for you.
Yeah. So I did that. I got my 415, put it in my pocket, and I was out there trying to see which school I was going to land. Okay. So here's the funny thing. I tried to go to Nakuru High. Back then it was a semi-national school, which was kind of funny, because the line for people to go to the national was like 420. Okay. So here I am.
You missed by 5.
Yeah. The funny thing is, since it was a semi-national school, it was also caring for people who had lower marks. Okay?
Okay.
So, and then there were other people who did not really score what I did.
Yeah.
They were also at the school.
Yeah.
So I'm here in the middle, last,
Right.
But but my uncle, actually, my mom tasked my uncle to find me a school. Paul's dad.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Paulo.
yeah,
Shout out, Paulo.
yeah. So his dad worked hard, until he was able to find me, get me back to Nakuru High.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So you go to your dream school that you had wanted.
it was close to home.
Close to home.
Yeah.
No more Marlo.
Yeah, no, Marlo, which is funny because I used to sneak from school, during my first, just because I was away from all. Now I could be able to go back home, walk home. Yeah. So that was, Form 1, right? The usual bullying is happening,
course.
that is
Initiation.
part of initiation, right? And then just before when I get to Form 2,
And by the way, we're not normalizing bullying. Don't listen to this say you're normalizing bullying, but they call it monolization. We went through it. When you come to high school, you have to initiate it. They have to take care of you, and it was bullying. There's no better way. It was bullying, and we went through it. We would advocate for it. We're not advocating for it, but we went through it.
So just when I was getting into Form 2, I was able to come to the U.S. with my sister.
So you didn't finish high school there.
I didn't
You
finish
came
there,
here
yeah.
when you're okay.
I came here and then I went to Hopkins High School.
It's about
down in Minnetonka.
you're 14, maybe?
16.
16.
No,
14 is 8th grade,
To
15.
16.
I came here when I was 15 and some change.
Yeah.
15 and some
Almost
change.
16, yeah.
Okay. Man,
Hey, man, Dennis, your life has changed.
within 4 years. Because remember, the father dies 11th. This is 15.
The mom leaves.
Mom leaves. So maybe at
Finish your
13, mom
national
leaves.
Exam. A national exam, that's a big
Big thing.
step.
That's a
passage,
distressor
right?
in
Yeah.
itself,
And within 4 years, you move continents.
Continents.
You come to a whole different culture.
All right, so you are here now.
We're processing this as we go.
Yeah.
It's just
This guy came when he was 40 and he struggled. Now you imagine someone who came when he's 15.
So I enrolled to Hopkins High School, right? Which of course itself with the culture shock and everything. So
What shocked you the most?
I remember when I was about to take my placement exam to see where I was ranking, So we were talking, I'm talking,
The counselor.
to the counselor and these teachers over there, I think she was overhearing what we were saying, So we were done talking, and then I guess she was a teacher who was going to put me in the placement. And then I turned to her to talk to her and she's like, "Do you speak English?" I'm like, "I've been talking all this time. You're here, you're listening, So what is happening? Did you not understand what I was talking about, or is that
Just
something?
trying to belittle you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Humiliate you.
So take me to English class. I go over there. He's like, man, you don't need ESL. You're good. You're already suppressing most people who are over here. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's my father's work right there. Always
Yeah.
pulling through. So it was good in itself, knowing that actually I was not dropping ranks.
Yeah.
Because when I came in, they bumped me up to junior.
Oh, so you skipped a class?
Yeah. So that was fun.
Okay. That was good. That was huge.
What
for
does
you.
that do to you?
Yeah.
Like, what does that do to you?
I mean, it was good in the sense that I didn't have to, schlep for another year
Yeah.
just to get where I was. But it also a morale booster in itself, right? Because I was able to reflect back on everything that had happened before, and me actually instead of when you were even at school when we were kids, when other kids were out there playing basketball, I was at the library.
Oh man.
So
You still have that mentality. You isolate yourself, get in your books, achieve.
yeah, So that right there is like, hey, maybe this is some sort of validation for everything I've been doing. Now I can be able to do other things, But other than that, also, I mean, the culture shock, of course, was there, right? Because I remember this time I was standing at my locker, just relaxing, talking to some Liberians, kids over there, and then there was these white people over here. You're like, oh, I like your shoes, I was like, thank you. Then I just keep on doing my things like, oh, you don't talk too much. That's cool. I didn't even know when somebody says that's cool, that's a compliment, Supposed to say thank you. I was like, cool, cold. Am I cold? Okay, I don't know what that is. I kept on doing my own thing.
Yeah.
So that culture shock that happening there,
The language,
The language.
yeah.
I came here when I was a senior. This girl and I said, "What's up, dog?" I said, you call me a dog.
What's up, cat?
What's up, cat? Man, why are you calling me animals, man? You move from, So I can relate. Like it's not about me. Let's keep going. So I can relate. That's what I'm saying. I can relate with you.
And most people that I guess that have come here, the high school age, they've always said that.
Yeah.
Like that culture, the language, it kind of startles them.
The lingo, the vibe, All right, so you're dealing with the culture shock. You have settled here. You are reunited with your mom.
And it's you and your sister.
It's
though,
you
right?
and your sister and your mom, right? So life goes on. How's high school?
So high school was different. Now this was a whole new other beast. Remember when I said math was hard?
Yeah.
This was something else different. This was a monster, with high school. But I traded on, You traded water, Worked hard. As
Spent
hard
time
as
in
you
the
can
library.
do, yeah, because they used, in high school they have that when the teacher comes in,
Yeah.
PT, and then
Yeah.
talks with all the teachers like, how's my boy doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was working towards not only fulfilling actually some sort of innate desire that I had to excel in everything that I do, but it was also to make my mother proud, because when she comes to the school, it's like,
Yep.
I want to make the trip to come to school to hear that this dude has been doing this,
Yeah,
this. That is not the Hungary name, That is just some other lost person out there,
Yeah.
So I didn't want to bring that shame to the family and also to my mother, right?
So you're carrying these still, that mantra. You have to carry the name. You have to carry the legacy.
So I joined track and field, I was like, hey, I can be able now to do other things now that I'm in the US, I have the opportunity to try other things, try to make some friends, because making friends has always been hard for me, because trying to connect with another person has always been a challenge, okay? Because not only now do I have to also put myself out there, but also I have to deal with the idea that this is somebody else I can, I may lose, and then having to deal with that all over again, okay? So I've always chosen to isolate myself, because I thought being alone will be I'll be better off that way, you know. So those skills that I was supposed to learn when I was young, you know, back in Shule, Molo Academy and all that, you know, I did not fine tune them. Okay.
Would you say that your academics, you know, you fine tune those, but the social skills, some areas that you know you could have done better, you know, the social skills caliber, and then the loss of your father just makes it even more of a barrier because you don't want to lose other people, as you said yourself. So the social skills, what I'm hearing is that there is areas of growth in the social skills. I want to celebrate, man. You know, it's very hard for our African men to acknowledge and to say that. You know, we just be tough, macho, just be a man. So I want to celebrate you, Denno, for saying that, and you know, appreciate that so much, really, really. All right.
So my question is, when you isolate and you do your book, you do your books. Did you see that being now looking back? Back then you probably didn't see that, but do you see that now you are an introvert? The isolation wasn't really for you to achieve something, but now it brought about this you being an introvert.
Yeah. So I'm like I'm really introverted.
Really?
In such ways that it's always exhaustive being out in public with other people, you know, because even at an event, my mind is all over the place. I want to leave already, even if I just got there, right? Because it is something that, you know, is like I need to have an alone time.
Yeah.
Alone time with me, you know, away from people, away from feelings, away from trying to get in touch with some things that I've really repressed for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, it's very interesting, Denno, saying that because I would have never thought or even guessed or even said that you're an introvert. Like I've been around you, the DJ guy, the you know crowd puller.
right.
Like it never occurred to me that you're an introvert. I mean, even as we are,
We're
but
very introverted.
We're very
if you
introverted.
can tell. Yeah.
You can just can't tell.
Yes, I can see that.
it's so suppressed in us.
But you know, I think there's something here, Kenan, I'm hearing. His social skills, the academic part, that was a way of dealing and coping with the social skills, the introvert part of him, the loss that he has gone through. All these, it's all buried in the books. Like this is his way of coping, you know, with that. So you joined track.
I joined track and field.
To make friends. Really.
To make friends
To make
and
friends.
to socialize,
Yes.
you know, in this new environment, kind of see what is, what life had to offer, right? So I made a few friends here and there, you know, going all the way to see to be a senior, right? Now, being a senior, I was like, you know, I know people run, get scholarships, go to college, you know. So when the time came for me to apply to colleges, I'm like, yeah, you know, I want to also be able to run in college, you know, try to see if I can get myself a scholarship, you know. So I go to the guidance officer. She was some lady from Uganda, right? So we're talking, you know, I told her, you know what, I want to go to college too, you know, do some track and field, you know, represent Kenya, you know, all that. So she looks at me and she told me, you can't go to college, you know, you don't have papers.
Okay. Eddie, explain what are papers.
Papers is papers. What that means is he didn't have the document. He wasn't documented to be able to go to college, to work. You have a social security. So this is another hurdle now in your life. You are aspiring at academics and you cannot qualify. You don't have papers. You don't have legal documentation to allow you to go to college.
And looking back, your dad was education.
Education.
Now, these are hurdle
Yeah.
that you've just come across, right?
How does that make you feel?
I dropped track and field the next day.
We can laugh now,
Yeah.
but I'm sure it wasn't that easy. Not that easy then,
It was not something pretty at the time. You know, I was really sad because I already feel generally had some applications from my U of M, you know, and other places. So I had them in my bag. You know, I was going to fill them out, and because I had gone to career fair. You know,
Yeah.
So that news was okay. So that is how life is now, huh? Drop the track and field. My friend, one of my friends, he was from Ethiopia. Used to have a part-time job, you know, doing some cleaning at one of the schools downtown. So when I dropped track and field, a couple of days later, I asked him if I can come with him go to work. Now that I can't go to school, I might as well make a living, right? So he went. We went to the place of employment where he worked, right? And the boss hired me, right? Because he was like, hey. Of course, he was under the table, right? So getting paid maybe $20 an hour to do some cleaning, and you getting $9, pocketing the rest. Our life is anyway. So I'll go to school, come back, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, do some homework, go to work till like 10:30 at night, come back, try to finish some homework, sleep, go to school the next day. So that was my routine. So I started,
Were you getting enough sleep?
Sleep was adequate.
Okay.
I would say, but other things also were important too.
Yeah.
Because like I went going to prom, I couldn't even ask my mom to, I need to go to prom. Can you finance that? Because she already had her hands full.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, this job will help. I'm gonna get me my limo. I'm gonna get me my tuxedo. I'm gonna get me everything. And that's what I did. From that small,
That's nice.
small figure paying job. So
Kenan, after the podcast, we'll teach you prom. I know you didn't have a chance to go through that. It's quite a moment.
You should organize a prom for me.
So you worked hard because you wanted to have a normal life, and you knew that prom was coming. You can't ask for money, so you're just working hard towards this goal. And of course, many other small needs here there, but generally, like you can feel the pressure that I can't go to mom,
Right.
Financially. So you go for. I'm sorry. So keep going.
So the prom happens, and so high school is done. So fast forward, right? But the thing about asking my mom for things, it's like I think that also became my personality from long time ago, with the fear of, I think they call it abandonment issue.
Yes,
For dealing from the loss of a parent and things like that. I felt like unable to ask for favors, okay? Because that time you feel like you're on borrowed time, not like you're gonna die, but more like if I behave nicely, maybe this nice person will let me do other things, be in their life. If I start asking for more favors, they may get tired of me and kick me out, So that traversed all the way even to my adulthood. I've always had hard time asking for. I'd rather walk 5 miles in snow than pick up a phone and call for somebody to come and give me a ride. Which subsequently, though, when I was working at my high school, after high school, I used to get rides from good people. You remember what was his name? There was some Kenyan guy who was called Jonathan. I think he passed away several months ago.
That's the guy who used to give you rides.
Yeah, he used to give me rides. He died the other day, I think, from substance abuse. He froze to death at his doorstep or something. I don't know if you. Okay. No. So I used to give me rides. Even are we dropping names here? Or are we?
No,
okay.
There's no drop names.
Okay, so I'm like, so people used to help me.
Yeah.
Okay. And I felt so indebted to them that I didn't know what I could do to repay them back. So that feeling of I gotta do something, it's always on my mind, because you want to return those favors so that you can be in good graces with people to
right,
help you in the near future.
And also for your name
Yeah.
as well, for you and your status and your your personality in itself. It's you. Your dad taught you to, because your dad was good to people. He had respect for all people. So then it carries down to you now with the same people. Someone gives you a ride, you want to hold your end of the bargain too.
Gentlemen, we are quickly cutting into an hour here. We listen. It feels like we've been sitting for only 10, 15 minutes. But that's not the story. So as we start wrapping up these in preparation for part 2, Denno, a question that I have for you is that we talk about substance abuse. There's something that you eventually end up into. We talk about depression. We talk about that. At what stage did you start substance abuse? Just drop that in preparation to part 2.
So when I went to college...
When you're going to college. So right after high school is when that you get into this substance abuse.
Yeah, so when I went to college, I was like, join a fraternity. And the first thing they do is do a keg stand. I don't know if you know what keg stand is, but yeah.
No, I don't. Why are you laughing? Is I don't.
It's just the energy.
No, we don't need to, but we don't. So I don't know.
So, but hey,
you are initiated to the fraternity by drinking.
So, listeners, you think we are just... You want to know more about how he gets initiated and what that journey takes him and where it sees him to the lowest point where he's attempts taking his life. This is why you cannot do anything other than wish that you are alive and the next week comes sooner for you to listen to the next episode. But until then, we're going to pause here. So any closing remarks?
No, I think this was just getting to know Dennis, because we know when you're building something to where someone is, you gotta know them. So I've learned that, you're
introverted.
Yes, you're an introvert, but then it doesn't show. So most people have some personalities that's true to them, but they tend to hide them just because for the face and what the crowd that you pull. So that's what I've gotten a lot from you.
For me, I want to celebrate you. I want to say that thank you for being open, because even just from describing your personality and stuff, I'm sure this is not easy.
No,
like you sitting in this table is not just a natural thing for you to do. But we appreciate that, And the question is why? Why do you really want to do this? And part 2 is where you're going to understand why Denno chooses to do this.
And that's what we'll start with, is why are you sitting on this chat?
All right.
Listeners,
if I leave Kenan to say one more thing, we might be over time. That has been our time. Until next time, like, subscribe, and make sure you share, subscribe, share with someone so that they can join and listen to this podcast and what is coming up next. Until then, that has been our time.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Amazing Truth Podcast. We hope you were blessed as you listened. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. God bless you, and see you on the next one.